Do you have any plans in there yet? Because I can give you what I have so far.
I really have much of all for the new application.
If we're gonna be waiting for Wawa,
Do you wanna do the
this
first one?
mural holdings is probably 30 seconds.
Sure, yeah, that's that one we just talked about.
That's fine.
Okay,
Okay.
is it just you, Fern, or do you have a?
Yes.
Okay.
Jump right
You know me.
That's this one I
I
just
mean,
gave you
we
here.
got your review letter. It seems to me like it's, you know.
All right, we're now reviewing, this is Muir Holdings, SD 2187.
Another one on the agenda.
Mr. Flannery is representing the applicant, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. You have our letter.
yep.
Do you see anything
I don't
that
see
cannot be
anything.
addressed for purposes of the public hearing?
Nope. Any of the things you say we should do the setback lines, we will do them. The testimony, we'll give the testimony.
All right. So as of now, you agree with all the technical recommendations of the letter?
We intend to address every one of those, and we'll give you a point-by-point response letter,
Okay.
and then go to the public hearing, and
All right. I have no problem conditionally approving this moving forward to
Okay.
what Mr. Flannery just testified to.
Okay, we're looking at the March 21st public hearing, pending receipt of 6 sets of revised plans by February 23rd. We're also going to request a PDF copy to be emailed to me as well, and I'll give you a copy of my notes that has that information on it.
Which meeting is this on?
March 21st.
Okay.
Okay. There's other ones, the extension for BMG, which we don't even
We didn't
have a
do
review letter on.
review letter
Yeah.
for.
I
we're gonna come in
assume
and ask for the extension.
you're gonna say zoning hasn't changed, so we're
Right.
not really affecting, I know the board's been concerned about that in the past, so.
Yep.
Okay, I don't have an issue with doing that. Does that, as an extension, does that require legal notice?
I looked at the
An
municipal.
extension? Oh,
Yeah.
No, that's
No.
not.
I believe in the
Right,
past
that
we
was,
haven't.
and that's what the
So
municipal.
if that
land use
one's
law
just
said.
an extension, and it doesn't require legal notice, and tomorrow, not tomorrow, February 21st is a little hectic, but we can probably put it on then if you'd like, or we can just go with March.
Yeah, March is fine.
Okay,
So you're gonna do March 21st for
March
BMG?
21st for BMG as
Is there a
well.
public on the March 7th?
There is nothing on March 7th.
Oh, there's nothing on March
As of
7th.
yet. That
Okay.
will really be things that carry from February 21st.
Okay.
If
All right.
if we end up holding the meeting and you want to go for March 7th, just remind me, since you don't need notice, I can
Okay.
just switch you over.
Okay,
You don't need any revised plans or anything.
and you should know that tonight, right, if there's anything that held over and is on that.
Not until after February 21st.
Okay,
Because if anything from February 21st, which is our big one, doesn't get
Yep.
reached, that's going to go to the March 7th.
right. Very good, thank you very much.
Okay.
Mr. Shea up here. Take care.
Take care.
Ray, do you have the Wawa application?
Okay, we're going to do Wawa now. You guys are ready?
I'm pinch hitting, Jerry Danston.
Jerry, how are you?
Good, I'm pinch hitting for, John Jackson has a conflict with Wawa.
Oh, okay, yeah. Good to see you, Jerry.
I think someone's behind you.
Which is the Wawa? Is that in
It's
here?
in my hands right here.
How you been?
I'm good,
Everything
thank you. Yeah, very good.
Okay. Wawa, review letter.
Okay.
Finding okay?
Yes, yes, yes. I've been here.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
I think I have the January 24th.
January
Yeah, I got it.
24th letter, yes. And I'm going to give, this is a copy of the.
Have you seen the January 24th review letter?
I do.
Do you have a copy?
you already have
I'll
it.
take an extra copy that I just
Okay.
reminded Ray.
Sure.
Thank you.
And since you hadn't gotten a copy of the plans yet either, I'll give you
Nope,
that.
Oh, yes, I did see this, yeah. Mhm.
1,
I
2,
think we're finally there, Terry.
You're getting
3.
close. You're getting close. How's it going, Ray?
All right, good, thank you.
This one is an amendment,
Are
so
you putting in
hopefully-
diesel fuel? They're tearing up all the other Wawas now to put in diesel. Are you involved with Wawa?
No,
She's the
I'm
engineer.
the civil
Oh,
engineer.
excuse me, I'm sorry.
No.
Okay. All of them around me, they're digging them all up. and-
Taking them out, yeah?
Yeah, they're putting in diesel
Yeah.
tanks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think the one on Route 9, they have these one,
Yeah,
the one
could
coming
be.
in.
They usually have one pump for diesel.
Yeah,
Volvo.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty amazing operation.
it is. I remember when it was nothing.
I remember looking at applications back in the 80s when they first started,
Yeah.
like around Cumberland.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Given that it's an amendment, there's probably not too much that came up in the review letter. Was there anything that we
Only
had
thing
concerns
that
about?
was to add in the subdivision, the setbacks for the drive-through bank structure, which I already did. I sent a PDF, but I need to submit review class. That's all the only.
Okay,
If you want, you can go to the comments, but it's, so zoning, one was the accessories structure.
That we confirmed, that's fine.
I went there, I measured
Right.
it, it's 60
And we
feet.
supplied that, I
Okay.
think, to you
And we
earlier.
supply,
Okay.
and I added on the subdivision, these are the two setbacks.
Are we doing a new letter for Pulp Street?
usually we do. Yeah.
All right. What may help, if
And
you
I
give us,
added in the,
if you give us this is great. What really helps us, if you could give us a point by point response.
Ah,
That
okay.
says.
You want a narrative response?
Exactly.
Yes.
And
Okay.
that way we can look and say, okay, this is how this is addressed.
Plus the map that Lena just had.
Exactly.
Okay, good.
and I'm gonna, like the paper copy of that, I sent PDF to show, but not now, they.
Don't need it yet,
not-
right,
okay.
yes, no problem.
So
Okay,
that was one of the things. The other one was the off-street parking relief. We maintain the existing number of parking spaces on lot 23 with an easement for the lot 16.01.
okay,
And the way the configuration of the park is show that those 16 parking spaces are gonna be used by lot 23.
okay.
There won't be a single board member who will understand any of this.
Yeah, I know.
So this is exactly
Right, so
because,
technically speaking, you are seeking relief, is that correct?
but we, on the observation that we maintain existing number of parking spaces on the lot.
All right. It's formally relief, but you have a case as to why you feel the site works.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine.
It's
Okay,
not
that's fine.
full as of now, and one of the reasons that we go is because we have some portion of the building with medical offices, and you calculate different than the
Got it.
regular.
Okay.
If you're prepared to give testimony, if you want to bring supporting information, just to make the board comfortable that at the end of the day, it may be a variance, but it works.
Yeah, Mike Youngins will be here, he'll give the planning testimony.
He's the, yes,
And if we eliminated medical entirely from the building, it wouldn't be a variance.
Right, okay.
this is
There's an
my
issue
understanding.
about how high the bank is.
No, that's done.
We're okay
Yes,
now?
We measured it.
We measure it, we've been there, measured it, it's 16 foot.
16?
Was actually approved before, so they wouldn't.
Good.
The existing identification signs, we have two signs, both of them they've been approved before, we are talking about these two.
Okay,
One
Yeah.
of them seems not to have enough setback,
Okay.
not 15 is 9.8. But we have the approval when it was built, they wouldn't just plug
You know,
it
it was
in.
subject to a
Okay.
site plan,
Right.
got a signed permit, was issued.
okay.
But what you are requesting here is.
Was that part of a prior
It
application?
was,
Yes,
for
yes,
500 River
approved,
Avenue,
yes.
the office building.
Tell us that the variance was previously applied for and approved under SP, whatever, the appeal number.
Okay.
And you have a copy of the zoning permit.
You have to get that from the client. later.
What happened, my understanding, Mike already talked to David and he agreed to move the sign.
Oh, he's gonna move the sign anyway.
So it's
Okay.
not going to be a variance
Right.
condition?
No,
All right,
no.
fine.
So he's just gonna.
That's even
move.
better. Just tell us that in the letter, in the revised submission, that's fine.
It's even see the existing site in the for the is located 20 feet, the tile
Okay.
information for, this is what it's requested, the tile information for the sign.
Right.
It's the existing sign that will
Right.
literally be moved a few,
Okay.
a few
Okay.
feet. The
No, that's
design-
fine. That's good.
Comment number 4, it's about curb cut on Route 9. We go now to the New Jersey DOT, you already applied for
You've
major
already
access
applied, okay.
permit. So whatever they're gonna
Yeah,
propose, I guess you agree
You're
Have
with
you
going
that.
to
heard, well, are
seek
they
re-
gonna give you the wider one, or do you think they'll give you?
We are,
You don't care,
I
I
just
guess.
talked with the case manager.
Eh.
You know, New Jersey DOT takes time.
Eh.
He even told me today, like,
Okay.
brace yourself.
Yeah.
You think you have problems, you should see the municipal end. I turned in a state aid road job for one of my clients from last June, from Region 3. I'm still waiting on a technical review.
We had for a CVS 2-year review.
Unbelievable.
It wasn't even us, we weren't the traffic engineer for the job, another company
Yeah.
was, they couldn't take it anymore.
Unbelievable.
It's like, it's a freaking little CVS, how much can you take?
Yeah,
How long can you?
yeah.
And
Yeah, so I mean,
the-
technically, that's a design waiver, but that, what you're doing is ultimately subject to NJDOT.
Correct.
So I don't
That's
see
right.
that being an issue.
And another thing is lighting. The lighting that we propose is typical Wawa. We have 0 at the, so it should be, it's my understanding
The
that
whole presentation should take 8 minutes.
That's right.
hopefully.
No, 80
That's if I
minutes.
stutter.
80 minutes.
80 minutes.
What night are they on for?
We have them on in March or February?
March 21st, February's
Okay.
a mess. So
Okay.
it's gonna be March 21st. I just need paper sets of those revised plans by February 23rd.
How many?
6 PM, right?
Just 6?
Yes.
Yes.
Just 6,
And
and then
response letter.
email one as well, and the response letter.
What day was that, March again?
March 21st.
Let me get this back to you, Ally.
Thank you.
Write it down. Aren't you getting worse than me? Write it down.
No, I'm gonna be in Key West, so I don't.
Oh, well, excuse us.
But I'll phone it in, sir.
That's all you
Ray's gonna
need to
be
do, right?
extremely concerned.
That it?
All right.
Yes,
Good? Thank you.
thank you very
Great
much.
taking care, Ray.
Nice
Take
seeing
care.
you.
Nice meeting you.
And I will see you both. It's been
All
fun.
right.
Wonderful,
Alright.
thank you.
Thank you, Ally. Bye-bye. I guess that hotel's coming back too, unless they change the ordinance.
Well, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I think that's the
Did
intent.
they get indication?
Yeah.
Oh, no, hold on.
They've requested a change to that, which is really appropriate. Who approves one
Why don't you guys come in front, because you guys, I'll stay back.
They got the most of the time.
Yeah,
It's clearly,
Rich, come here. Rich Oben, one of our engineers. Everyone's one of our lawyers.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, Terry. Never saw you before.
Okay,
what do we
so
have
we're
on first?
We're asking to do this,
Sperber?
we do Sylvester Drive, the second one.
Sure.
Claire Drive, because they're all here for that.
Okay,
We're gonna do
There are
Claire
people living
Drive.
there.
sure.
Okay, when you say they, who are they?
All of them and all of
The
us.
applicants or.
This is the applicant, these are not objectors.
The
No,
applicants,
these
they're
are the
looking-
applicants.
They're actually end users.
Right, I was just about to tell you they're end users, so they're all the applicants.
Thank you.
Claire Drive.
And actually, if we can do next Benos Devora, then I can leave too, and they can do all the rest of them. How's that?
Wonderful.
I like this. This is good. I don't have to go out at night.
Alright, so this is the one, I know there, Dave had some concern about whether or not the road would be adequate now that we're putting in additional lots. The
What's the
road
road?
is bonded separately
Right.
with the engineering department for one house.
Oh, I remember.
Doesn't have a
You know this
turnaround,
one,
it's
because we
narrow.
discussed this
Yeah,
one
but this
actually in
one-
conjunction
this one
with
has-
that shul also.
But
This
this one
is
is
the
now
20
serving 5 lots.
6, I think, but this
So
is the
that's-
24-foot wide road, but the road was approved, and really, the reason it was approved at that width is because the other side of the street, if you recall, are the backyards of the houses on Princewood. Remember, we had that shul, and we all noticed.
I understand.
Terry, I brought the road plans from, it's not, it's an L2A, but I had them send me the
But
final
isn't
plan.
there a deal, from what I remember, I haven't looked at this for a while, you got a real narrow road that was
Yes.
originally proposed to serve one house, which would essentially be a glorified driveway. Now you're proposing it to serve 5 or 6 lots? Okay, I don't think that pre-existing road design is going to be adequate to serve multiple lots.
I think we gave a right, we added 10 feet of right-of-way easement in order to expand the right-of-way.
Who is supposed to own that? No, sir, you- we're going to talk with.
He's the applicant.
I understand.
I just wanna.
Let's
He's,
talk
just so
professionals.
you know, yeah, we're going to, but he's the Mashinsky, that was the Mashinsky residents who got the road approved. He may know more about that road than actually any of the professionals, so
All right,
maybe
if there's something,
worthwhile.
sir, I'm sorry, if there's something
Yeah.
that you can share specifically about
sorry,
the
real
road?
Yeah, he may, we
I
may
don't
need
know
to.
who you are.
Rich Oben, one of our engineers.
Guy, I've heard of you. Thank you.
We know where we stand originally, and, remembers everything. Basically, eventually this road is not supposed to end here, it's gonna continue up till here.
Right.
It's just, the reason why originally, when we spoke to, the people in the engineering, I don't know.
Jeff was handling
So
it.
at that point in time, they were like, why was this road to begin with designed to be narrow? And at the time, they said, oh, it's very evident, very obvious that this is only supposed to be serving one side of the road, this side of everybody's backyard. Therefore, that's why it's such a narrow road. However, the roads that it's gonna eventually lead into, they're much wider. And he said, so, but what about the current turnaround? How are they gonna be able to get trucks and whatnot? Therefore, I gave away from my driveway just as a temporary, and we had the engineer about and everybody else who sat in several meetings with Brian as well. And they designed a very large turnaround for any trucks or whatever wanted to go in or out. We got approval from Public Works. We sat with them and they gave us a written letter signed that they would be happy with, with getting their trucks in and out, and there's driveways
part of his
sized good enough,
driveway.
and the same goes for snow removal.
Within the easement, it looks
They have no issue getting any trucks or vehicles down the road into the driveway and be able to make a regular K-turn until this actually will open. So it's not like this is permanent staying.
Which is, I can understand that for one home. Now we're talking about 6, and there's no guarantee when or if this is ever going to occur.
Right, that's true, but this will always be people's backyards at the end of this road. It never will be, it's not forested. All this is already existing, and it's already people's
No,
backyards.
these lots here,
Everything here is already in existence.
yeah, he knows that,
So-
I think. That's Prince Road.
And I just wanna add that this should be, meaning even if we don't wanna put 6, let's say we wanna put 4, which is definitely allowed by design, that, but, based on what we,
On the
with
ordinance.
everything, with all the ordinances, this 30-foot right of way should be sufficient based on what it was originally designed for. So it's not like we're saying, okay, we're doing 1 and that's it. Really, 4 should be able to go. Now the question, we're taking 4 and we wanna turn it into 6 single-family homes, and then you'll already tell them the whole history, it really should have been even duplexes possibly, which we're not doing, because we wanna move into single-family.
All right,
So,
here's where I'm at.
Sure.
I've got 2 concerns.
absolutely.
Concern number 1 is, I do not feel comfortable with this
sorry.
going in front of the board. Unless or until Public Works has looked at this existing request, or, I'm sorry, the current request to change this from, this is how we serve 1 home to, this is how we serve 6 homes.
Okay.
That would be number 1. Number 2, and we've discussed this, legally, because of the improvements that are required, our opinion technically is that this is not a minor, that this is a major. I don't, did John speak on that? I thought I saw an email.
No, it was in the review letter. I didn't see
It's in the
anything from
review
John,
letter.
but the review letter mentions that it would be a major. Our position was that the road was pre-approved, and the road was pre-approved as part of the Mashinsky residence, so the road is not part of this application.
I think Dave's take was if additional improvements are required to the road, either by the board or by DPW, that would kick it into a major.
And that is the way, truthfully, we deal with this in most other towns I deal with.
With the Widener Road is major.
Yes.
Lakewood is its own thing, obviously.
Any subdivision with a road improvement.
If this were
Right.
in.
My
in-
question to you, Terry, is if the road had been put
It's
in and
technically a
Mashinsky
major.
built his residence before they came forward, then it would be a minor?
If the road were pre-existing, yes.
So it would
But
make
the
sense
fact that
to-
you have improvements to be reviewed,
Right.
typically,
And it's
that
not
that
a-
is a major. That's
Would it
my
make
experience.
sense- Yeah, I got you. Would it make sense for us to go ahead and put in the road and then come back, or that would
No,
make- that would
because
be crazy?
realistically, I would imagine that the board's gonna have the same concerns, or DPW may have
Yeah.
the same concerns, whether the road's been built or not.
So really, I had to just first meet with
You
DPW.
need to
Yes.
make sure
Yes, that's what they're saying.
that DPW is even going to entertain this.
Okay, so then that'll be the first step, to meet with DPW.
And
Does
then,
that goes with you as
if they
well, or-
come back and they give a favorable report that, yes, we've looked at the design and we don't have a problem maintaining this, they may come back and say, yeah, we're fine, except change A, B, C, and D. And if you agree to that, obviously, we can revisit the interpretation issue with John.
Okay,
and-
that's very fair.
And use him as a final call.
Absolutely. can I offer something that may work for everybody? And the road design was not done by us, it was done by L2A in a prior application to the engineering department. How about you guys go back to DPW with the L2A, because this has all the design details on it.
Whatever you're proposing for this project, this application,
Has to go to DPW.
that's gotta go DPW.
Including our
Regardless
6
of
lots.
where it came from.
I understand, if there needs to be widening, if DPW says, you know what, I want, instead of 24, I want a 30-foot road, whatever it is, it should really, if it gets done with this
It
road-
would need to be shown on those plans and bonded.
Bonded by this, and then this can come forth as a minor. Am I correct?
Possibly,
I just don't wanna redesign a road that was already designed and approved.
Well, two things. If they say it's gotta be 30 feet wide, somebody's gotta redesign the road.
We're trying to avoid that if we don't have to redo the whole thing. You go back, take this back to DPW.
Right, we have that.
Show them a
That's a
copy of
given.
our
That for
plans,
sure has to
and
happen.
saying the eventual plan will have 6 houses off this, showing them a copy of our plans.
Yeah.
This
You have
road
to
goes
take
back
both
to
to
DPW, okay, so then we'll have to. And then you
I
need
would
to.
think
Brian,
not,
whoever you
I'm
want,
sorry,
but-
I would think not the applicant, but I would think the engineer should
No, no, no,
be
that's
speaking to
for sure
DPW.
who has to
Okay.
But
And
he
Glenn,
mentioned
obviously,
Brian was
whatever you
handling
come
it?
up with is gonna have to
Who's
be our
handling it?
size.
Brian?
Well, that's,
The road's
I
ours,
think
yeah.
Brian was
No,
involved
that-
in this as well,
That's
so
not-
it
No,
might
that's
be
not.
that we'll send Brian to
The
DPW
24-foot
with
right-
L2A's plans, but Brian needs to have both
28
sets
feet
of
is the
plans.
minimum road
And
width
Since
to be
these
RSIS.
guys are designing, you may wanna have somebody.
L2A, a representative of
Well,
L2A,
somebody-
which you don't really need
Right.
Brian, so you can just send Mike Dipple or somebody
They're
from
not gonna
L2A and
believe
they
that
can deal with
nobody's
it, but
gonna
they
park
have
on the
to
street
know,
unless
they
it's
have to
6
see your
houses.
design for the 6 lots. Because
really
that
involved
works
with
for
that
one
road
lot, it
design.
doesn't
We can
work
do
for
it.
I'm
6,
sorry,
that's what they're
Miriam,
telling you.
the engineers are already in disagreement on whether or not this is RSIS compliant and whether the board's even gonna accept it as is, so, I mean, I
But
really
this-
think.
Let's take this back, like I said, let this, without us touching the.
The thing is,
this
even
Start
if,
with
even
Public
if
Works.
DPW
Yeah.
likes it, the board may still say, this is too narrow, this is
Yeah.
not RSIS compliant, so, yeah, let's
Yeah,
do
we can
step
do
one
everything and
first.
John Jackson's still gonna yell, or John Franklin's still gonna yell at you in 3 months.
I just don't wanna
Okay.
fight Mike Tipple's fight,
He is
because he's
gonna
not here
Make,
to fight.
just
It's
dot,
not Mike Tipple's
dot
fight,
your
it's your
i's
fight
and
now that you're
cross your
subdividing
t's.
it.
It's fine, listen.
Right,
Right.
you're on the
Brian
subdivision,
Flannery
so.
and Mike Dipple both said, when we went over this with the minimum ISI, so even if you don't wanna take it on your plate, that's fine. We'll have Brian come down, he's been here before, I think, and we'll just go over it.
Vaguely familiar.
Right, exactly. I think that's most
Um,
fair, makes most sense.
Right, I think,
Either way, you have to get DPW approval first, that's step Correct. one, exactly. Step
No,
one,
no,
and
he
then-
understands that, but, yeah,
He's very straight up.
it's, right.
I imagine
Brian,
Jeff,
whoever-
if
you-
Jeff approved this, imagine at this point, Jeff also thinks it's RSA's. This is an approved plan, Jeff approved, correct?
Yes, Jeff approved the
Yes.
plan, but again, he approved the plan for 1 lot, now we're proposing 6
Yeah,
lots.
wouldn't-
That's the
Changes
issue.
changes
there.
everything.
It changes
changes
everything, and therefore, it's gotta go back to DPW.
Okay.
I think we all understand, we're good,
Okay,
Right?
this is competitive, yep.
I think I do, but I
can
gotta
talk-
go at 12:30, so
I
what
do,
I know?
so,
I'm in Lakewood, right?
we should've had Brian stay, probably,
I
but-
should have,
all right, whatever,
now the issue is,
there's nothing to address, because this is the financial.
but.
Yeah, you're not on it, they're not scheduling you.
Well,
they're not
regardless, you'd be
scheduling you
March
until you speak
21st.
Until you speak
right,
to
I think
DPW.
that's what we have to decide.
If you can get me revised
Terry,
plans
we're gonna
by
have to come back for
February
another informal
23rd,
session?
which means
Would
you need
probably make
DPW
sense, come
approval.
back and report what,
And
what
hopefully
you were
plans that
told.
do not require it to turn
Yeah.
into a major, because
That
that's
would be
going
the
to change
next
the
one would
character of
be
your
the first
application.
Tuesday
Got
of
it.
March.
March 7th, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And then,
Okay.
if they approve it,
4
say,
weeks from
just for
today.
argument's sake,
If you
then
get,
what
if
happens
you
after
get
that?
positive feedback relative to the road design for the 6 lots, then essentially you would be back on track. I would imagine you'd be able to submit for the April
First.
public.
Oh, that would go back to April.
Correct.
Okay.
We will, I don't know what you guys just decided, but Glenn and I were just talking, and we said we will pencil it for March 21st, but prior to being
Oh,
able
you
to
will?
notice for that meeting, we still need
Well, let me ask a
DPW.
question. You're going to have to do a revised review. I
We
would-
do a revised review for all of these, which is why revised plans are due by February 23rd for the March 21st
Okay,
public
so
hearing.
they're going to submit plans for the 23rd, but they may or may not have DPW's
They,
approval.
as I just said to Glenn while you were all
We're
talking
gonna have to,
over
we're gonna
us,
have to
he
meet with
needs to meet
DPW
DPW
between
first,
today.
Okay.
then make his plan revisions and submit plans that are hopefully still considered a minor subdivision.
So as of now, you're going to try to
This is
make
the
March
problem, you got
21st.
too many
Okay.
That's
engineers,
very
with-
thankful, very
Correct.
special, thank you.
That's what I
you
think.
got too many,
Thank you.
Okay.
Conflicting ideas of what.
I
Should be
think
there.
that, yeah, I mean, I don't.
I'll set it up.
You set it up and you can have Brian come or Elsie Wade
Claire
come.
Drive.
I don't think we need Brian, I think it's gonna be pretty clear
I don't think
once
we
you
need
get
Brian either.
DPW's feedback.
I think once they
Correct.
say that a 24-foot wide road is no good for 6 houses,
Yeah,
it's gotta be redesigned.
then that's gonna kick it to major
It's
anyway.
not gonna get heard on March
Either
21st.
gonna kick it to major.
That was my point.
Or it needs to be redesigned and bonded,
But I think
so.
the April when's the April public hearing? April 25th?
I don't know, I'm not scheduling that yet, it's 2 months away.
Yeah, I think it's the night of my son's wedding, so I don't think I'm being there anyway, so
Let's keep it those Devora.
I think it's the 25th. It's probably the one right after Pesach, right? More than likely, we don't do meetings on Pesach
It's a
usually.
holiday in the way.
Yeah, usually, that's.
Alright. What are we on next? You have
The
my,
notes of order.
Huguenot Scavolo.
no, Statmar.
They want to do, I think.
Yeah, I wanna get out of here if you don't mind, Ally.
Okay.
That's the
Making this
daycare.
convenient for Mary.
Actually, I like this a lot. My kids will be very happy. I don't have to come to
It's the best thing. It's the best thing in the world.
This is the best.
And
Could
then
you do
knock
the
down
public
planning
hearings
board
also
one
during
every
the day?
month, Please.
Well, that's the ultimate
Terry, how about
goal,
we
but
do
we'll
public
have,
hearings
you know,
also
every month we're
during
gonna have a school that
Yeah,
says,
good
please,
luck.
please, please, can we go on the
Even
first
tonight,
meeting?
Tonight the meeting should be short. It
Well,
really
tonight
should.
the meeting's
Wait,
really
Mishkan
short because
Hatorah was
everything's off.
canceled, did you see
Everything's
that?
canceled, yeah. I already spoke to
We
John Doyle.
have, we have
Oh,
a
yeah, 'cause it went
concept
to you
plan and a
guys.
minor, is that what we have? It's like
Seriously?
really
I
short.
have something. What do we have?
Wait, we have,
That got
we have a minor,
got sued.
yeah, this
They-
is the
they driven this
21st.
all-
We
this
have,
The neighbor, that same neighbor by Ron Gazarovski, they just
We
sued
have
today.
Illinois.
we have a bunch of the Oak Street admin minors,
same
and then
as
we
the
have
zoning board
a
did.
minor, change of use, and a concept plan.
And the minor's a continuation, so it should only take a couple minutes.
That's right.
Famous last words.
Ally, wouldn't it be great if
What
we did
time
all the
is it?
meetings during the day?
Yeah, I'm telling my wife on text, yeah, I'm still here. They're still jerking around.
I think we should do all of them during the day, guys.
That was
This
mine
is great.
last night.
Oh, boy.
That was the zoning board last night, Terry. Fun, isn't it?
I'm on camera. I'm
There was a
not-
zoning board meeting
Oh,
last
yeah, I
night?
forgot.
I didn't know
Cameron's
this was
here.
a zoning meeting.
They're gonna fire their engineer for lace profanity.
You're right, I forgot we're on camera.
All right. No Stavora?
Okay,
No Stavora it is.
all right. Let's start with this.
Yes. We want to put up a daycare on the school site.
Is this the one where you have a turnaround in the right of way?
Out of the right of
Okay,
way.
Yep.
that's gotta go.
Okay.
Right, that's just, we can take that out.
Okay.
And then
mean
right
the
away,
striping?
go straight.
Let's go through it.
You can't use township right of way for a turnaround. You've got, this can be a road, this can be your daycare, and you can't, unless you wanna go to the town first
No,
and
no,
convince them.
we're just gonna take where it says no parking and the striping off, and then it'll just be a through street with an in driveway and an out driveway.
Okay. Here's, all right,
Just as if any other, you know, it's just gonna be a loop driveway back out to Lambert Avenue. We'll take out where it says no parking, and then if Lambert ever gets extended in the future, it'll just continue on, and we'll have
A loop driveway.
a loop
so
driveway.
if Lambert gets extended, how does that, I mean, typically, Glenn,
Well, the
I
stop sign.
understand the concept with the loop, but typically you would have a 90%, a 90-degree access. You wouldn't have some swirling curve off of the edge of a cartway.
So,
We can do that. We'll round those off,
Yeah,
and that, so that a car can go through,
let's,
and we're gonna move the
you've
sidewalk.
got room to move the daycare center back.
they have behind it some play areas. We're trying to keep it out of the play area as much as possible.
I understand that, but to make this safe and
Yeah.
to make your access not directly dependent on using the cartway for anything else but access.
So let's go through the reasoning of this in the first place. We technically could take this entire access off, and it's a perfect site.
Okay.
The reason for this, we'd like to, when parents just drop kids off, and they're not parking, they just do a quick drop off or pick up at the end of the day, we don't have to have the kids, this is for daycare, for little, 2,
understand.
3-year-olds. We don't really want them in the parking lot. So this is a sort of, it's a car drop off only, there's no buses, there's no major vans, there's no this is a small little extra drop off as a extra nice thing, just to keep them away from a parking lot. There's not a main access, there's not a required access. We have a regular full access in front.
I would recommend if you have to push it back some, and I fully understand you're trying to
Reasoning.
preserve land in the back. get the building back far enough that you can have an access point, someone makes a turn, and whatever you want to do on the interior is great, it should not be intertwined with the carway.
So what I'm gonna do is, I'll add a little concept as well, as if these roads are in,
Yeah.
and showing a little.
Yeah, I mean,
vehicle
quite
movements.
frankly, that's how you should be designing it. You should be designing this on the ultimate use of the road.
Which is how we did, so we'll show the concept of how, if these roads went in, how the vehicular movements will work.
Okay.
It's not a big deal to do, it's
All
been
right.
designed that way.
Okay, now, just going through the letter, are you going to require DPW approval for anything?
I'll send it to DPW. We're putting
Are
in
we-
garbage there.
Is DPW picking up the garbage?
So getting in at the school itself, I'm putting another garbage can here in the back here just to have it here. I'll send it to them. I'll send it to Tony.
It looks like drainage isn't completed, the drainage
Yeah,
design?
we've got grading and drainage comments. Do you have any issues with meeting the conditions in our report?
Potentially, because Abe Auerbach wants this on February 21st, and I don't think you'll be able to get those revised plans here in time.
I don't know, what are we changing besides for?
But it says
angling-
grading and drainage isn't completed.
Whenever you,
Right. And we have
how do you
to-
see the plans you guys looking at? Because I think we already
What's
did
the date
this.
on them?
January 9th,
It won't be
2007. The
dated.
problem is they don't always put revision dates, they just stamp when it was signed, so.
This one says 1/3.
Yeah, so
Okay,
does this
that's
one,
it.
but it's stamped with the signature 1/9.
Yeah,
Yours
we've
is
already
stamped with
updated.
signature, so we don't.
Right, we don't
I
need
didn't,
to.
I didn't print it. We've already updated our drainage. We've been working on the
But
site.
we
for the
need it
past 2
here
weeks.
in time to be
Yeah,
reviewed
you've
for
missed
the
the
public
deadline
hearing.
for the 21st, I believe.
No, it's-
Yes, no?
Well, the deadline for the 21st was last week.
And we have a lot
On a
of other things that are
technicality,
on the
we need it 10
21st.
days in advance, but we also need time to review it. And we currently have 8 other public
And
hearing
what you've
items to
currently
review. for
submitted,
that
I don't
day.
believe address what we just talked about, unless I'm missing something.
We've already, knowing that you guys are gonna be asking for a more final grading, more final drainage plan, we've already fixed and revised the plan. We're ready to hand it in about 2 days, should you want it. I can't tell you about your reviewing time, that's not my business. It's you tell me.
I'm not comfortable, I know we have a lot of other applications. Being that it's a school, is this correct?
Yeah, is this a
Yeah.
first?
I
is
would
there
be
a first-
amenable,
Okay.
if you wanted to do a public on March 7th, I'd be amenable.
I think it's fair.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask
2/21
that
is
if we
just
could do
too
March
fast.
7th.
That gives me what dates
Okay.
do you need plans by?
This week,
Friday?
yeah.
Okay.
What's that, like the 9th or the 10th or
Yes,
something
I'm gonna
like
give you, I'm
that?
gonna give you a concept, I'm finalizing final updating plans per letter, and then I'll get you a vehicle movement concept and showing these roads.
Well, yeah, and that's gonna have to be in your design.
Yeah.
We're not gonna be able to just review a concept.
Then it'll match the design, it'll be another
That's-
sheet
that's
showing.
You'll have it, all right, what you're talking about showing us is essentially a circulation plan.
A futuristic circulation plan, should those streets go in.
Okay, okay, that's fine.
You're gonna need plans, because we're gonna notice then for March 7th, right, Ally?
You guys didn't come up with any variances, right? I think we're okay with that, I just wanna make clear, so.
Just so we're clear, that's your deal. We are a catch on behalf of the town.
We know.
No bulk variances have been requested. Previous approval, proposed 20-foot buffer. You do need buffer relief according to our comment zoning 3. Would also need partial design waivers from completing road improvements across all of the project frontages. And that'll be addressed, I assume, as part of your testimony.
Yeah,
That's all that we identified.
right.
But it's your application, look carefully.
We'll live with this. Okey-doke.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, one more question before I leave, just Torah Tamima that we didn't do today. We're doing technical and public all-in-one on
We
February 21st?
announced public hearing for the 21st.
We did.
been
never
kicking
did a
around
tech-
for a
we
long
never
time.
did a tech meeting.
We might as well I mean, we can hold the tech meeting on the 21st, and then, because it was announced as a public hearing, certainly ask the board if they want to open it up, but
I mean,
per
they
the
want to
old
get
board
it done as
procedures.
much as quickly as possible, obviously,
Why
because they
have
want
they
to
carried it so many times then?
Because it wouldn't be sporty if you followed what we told you.
Yeah, but,
What's the fun in that?
they did a good job on the plans, and they send me each time a whole nice, huge thing of plans. Actually, we was discussing Torah Tanima for a second, but, so are we doing tech meeting, or we're doing tech and public?
Well, you haven't had tech, so it's scheduled for tech, and I will note that you're requesting combined plan review in public, but since it hasn't had a tech, if the board has concerns, we may need to push it off.
All right, got it. Okay, thank you.
So we're back to Sperber.
This is a minor stuff with variances.
Anybody see an iPad that Ray Shea left behind? No, not that I see.
Poor Ray.
Yeah.
Yes?
Wow.
It's with Tom Brady's jersey.
Thank you. I'm sure he'll come down and get it. Okay, thank you.
The one variance I think you guys were talking about was the side setback variance.
Okay. So what are we looking at here? Is this a triplex?
Yeah.
All right, which would be a townhouse. Your
Right.
zone is B5A and that's permitted, I assume? Okay. Okay. Going through.
Yes, side setback. 12 whereas 20 feet is required. I feel like this came up.
Yeah, because Brian addressed it by the meeting for Evergreen. This was Brian's whole speech in
Yeah.
Evergreen about how the zoning works, and to be frank, I'm guessing Brian's gonna be doing this one as well,
It
because
was,
he's gonna
uh,
go through his
It was
Article X.
language based off of multifamily versus
But
two-family.
we're gonna
I
notice
think.
for the side setback to
Okay.
be stringent, in case the board says, Brian, you may not be right this time.
I
Okay.
think that's a good approach. I would, from now on, if it were me, I would use an abundance of caution. I would be as broad-based with your advertisement.
So we're gonna
If
do
there's a
that.
chance of if there's a chance of relief,
Yes,
Put
we're
it
gonna,
in.
we're gonna notice that just in case, but I know there was that, because
Okay.
Brian Flannery,
Okay.
all right, now talk to us about access here.
I have one big, I have two axes with a 50-foot set. It's set up for the county, what the county wants.
All right, so Locust is a county road.
Yes.
Okay, now, our comment 21 in our letter, we scale a distance of only 9 feet from the edge of the driveway pavement to the off-street parking. Okay, how does that work? If someone's already parked in these aisles and their semis are large vans, how does this work?
Edge of pavement, to the right of way, you mean?
No, from the back of the parking space to the right-of-way, which is our edge of pavement. You- It's drawn, that's what they're questioning, that's 9 feet. And if there's a car in the outside spaces, how do you get a car in the inside spaces? I think is what
Well,
Dave and Terry are asking.
It's, let's say you have vans or trucks or vehicles parked in all 4 of these. How do I navigate this? If I'm here, I got a large car or truck next to me, how do I pull out? You got 9 feet,
Well, we'll move the houses further back.
that would be a good idea.
It's not a problem. We have room to move them back,
Yeah.
and that gives us another 5 feet, which should give us what we need.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously, we're not showing the final house
So
design.
that gives us,
Yeah, and if we have to make the houses a couple feet shorter, so be it.
Okay.
It is what it is. We don't have a final house design because it's a minor sub and we
Understood.
typically don't. But they have to meet the county, what the county wants in. It's gotta go to the county, make the county happy, which is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And,
Let me ask you guys a question. We had talked about this. We had Ernst and we had Carl Block here, the meet and greet. One of the things that Carl recommended is if you have an idea for something, that they would be amenable to looking at a concept. Have you guys tried that at all?
we meet them once every month or two. We show them all our plans.
Okay,
Problem is when you do meet them and they say, that looks okay,
right.
somehow down the line it doesn't always end up the same way.
Okay.
You can only do what you can. When they do
Right.
the in-depth review,
Right.
we do meet, we're actually meeting them in about a week. We're gonna
Okay.
show them all these
Okay.
plans, show them a
Okay.
whole list, and they
Right.
may eyeball it and give us a couple ideas.
You're at least trying. It is,
Yeah,
okay.
Meet them all the time. They're
Okay.
actually they've been past month or two very, very responsive to us.
Okay, good.
Very responsive.
Good.
Be more practical, understanding, but yet unwavering about the things that they
Right.
want, so.
Right, okay, good.
They've been- This is their curb cut that they want. So we're giving them the curb cut that meets their design, and now it's really more of an interior site thing. Our site has to work, and
Yeah.
we have to have a turnaround.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. My fear, and I think the board's fear is, the board approves something and then it goes to the county and we're like, guys, we're not gonna allow this, and then we start over again. And everybody's looking like, what happened? So, I mean, if you guys are having dialogue, that's good.
And you can't use this to push around the county. You can't use a Lakewood approval, saying board approved, you have to approve it now. The county doesn't.
The county's
Well,
getting
I-
very
I
angry
wouldn't
and
expect
and
it.
has asked us to add to our submission checklist, proof of submission to the county.
Yeah.
Because habitually people come get their Lakewood approvals, then they wait and go to the county, and then the county takes as long as the county usually takes, but they're also not getting the application as early as us, and they're tired of getting flack for taking so long. So we are going to be encouraging earlier county planning board applications.
It's good to have dialogue.
We talk to them all the time. They almost daily, we're on Robin and
Good.
back, we're back and
I-
forth.
Good, okay.
I had a project in Woodbridge yesterday for a very powerful client who shall be nameless. But we essentially had county engineers, the head county engineers, at our TRC yesterday.
Nice.
And, well, an hour and a half later, we still couldn't get a straight answer. But at least they tried.
The problem is also when you get an answer and you design something and then things
Yeah.
change down the line, but it's part of what we do, so.
Yeah. Well, like I said, at least you are talking on both
Yeah,
levels.
yeah, and we're in most of our designs you'll see now also when we design it are, well, including the right-of-ways they need, the half-widths they need, including the tapering that they need. These are the things that come really bite you afterwards when you get a subdivision with some variances and also now your lot size goes down because they need to take some more land.
All right. Let me ask you a question. This is a triplex. You're going to need DPW approval for trash pickup, yes, no?
Do we normally get it from Minnesota? We just roll out cans.
I don't know.
No, we normally get it for townhouse developments.
Okay,
Yeah.
We're gonna roll out cans. I'll send it to him.
okay, all right.
Well, can we do what we used to do, what we do with like the fire commissioners, or tree save that? We just, instead of submitting 2 plans here, we submit 3 plans and 1 plan automatically goes into DPW.
The
part-
initial
party.
application, we do that with Shade Tree, Fire, John Jackson, and Environmental. We
Can we
do
just do it
for.
with DPW as well? We'll give you
Well,
another set
the
of
problem
plans
is
and-
that after a meeting like this, they often change, you know? I mean, can we include that in the plans that you submit prior to the public hearing? No? You just want
The
the
problem is they don't
initial?
always get back to, it takes them a couple of weeks sometimes. I would like, I'm thinking like initial submit, let's get their,
The
the
problem is
county, that's what
DPW
that
doesn't
is.
work in this building. They don't come here, I'd have to ask them to come here and start picking a plan. How do you usually send them to them?
I emailed to Tony,
You
but,
email them.
but then, this is Donnelly, what's his,
Patrick?
Patrick has his, wants it to him, and Tony wants, he wants it. I feel like if we give an official submission to them, it's not my problem who I send it to.
Well, I don't want it to be my problem.
Come on, Ally, you're bored.
Yeah, I
don't
just
know.
need to know if it's with the initial submission or if we want to do it when they're revised
It's the-
later.
The
I
board
don't.
member of me is talking, saying, is like, if I know there's been an official submission to DPW,
Right,
and they have it, and they have their 2 weeks or so, at
Right.
least 3 weeks to give comments, that way,
Right.
their comments get included, and then we'll revise plans for public hearing, including their comments.
right, and send to them again.
That we can do in compliance. We can get the final sign, if we have their
Yeah.
initial comments,
Yeah.
we can get that in compliance.
We can do that with the initial
I think that's a
submission.
smart thing to, again, this is the board has to decide, it's not me.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, let's get their comments on board right away. The new thing is get final plans up front, so let's get as
Right.
much as we can and get this in, and,
Okay.
Terry, you're the boss on this, but what do you think?
I'm the boss if the board agrees.
Bring it up to them tonight, so you can say, I mentioned it, I had an idea.
Well, that would be helpful because then we'd have theoretically have, their comments along with fire and shade tree. Like we have fire and shade tree here, we would have them.
Correct.
At
in the
this
file.
meeting.
And then we know if there's something, if they're asking for a minor thing, change the detail, make it a little wider, it's no big deal. We
Yeah.
don't care, do it compliance.
Yeah.
If they're saying this absolutely doesn't work, well, we can't go to public hearing like that.
Okay.
That's probably good since basically every application so far has been good to get to DPW, so I think that's a good idea.
If we're sending minors, we might as well just send everything.
Can you remember to bring this up tonight? To put in a note on your agenda?
Yep.
Okay, all right, so we're gonna try for March, is that correct?
Yeah, it's a minor.
Okay.
March
All right.
21st, revised plans, February 23rd.
You'll make the change relative to the access that we talked about, moving everything
Sure,
back.
yeah. All right.
Anything else you want to do?
No, nothing, no. Didn't see anything that was outrageous.
You wanna do this? This is one we actually have DPW approval on, just emailed you a day or two ago.
Good.
There's a lot of congregation Satmore applications. How
Well,
many
one's
facilities
gone.
do you
Two,
have?
right?
Old one's gone. Remember they came for one on between East County line and
I
Kennedy?
don't think it's just you guys, I think Sermani has turned in Satmore's, I mean, it seems like I've seen like half a dozen of them.
No, I've only,
That
this is
one
only
was
the
mine.
second.
It was, this is the second
Satmar
one.
Maybe
just
I'm
was around
confusing it with
forever.
something else.
No, Satmar was just around forever because they kept changing.
Okay,
So when I got this application, I cringed a little bit.
that's it.
We've, just as a heads up, we've already addressed most of the,
This is,
You already did.
talk about this for most of the work.
is one that Henry's working
I
on.
don't
Oh,
know
I'm
how
sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, he's done
We've
this.
already
What are we-
addressed
what are we
your
looking
letter.
at now?
I didn't bring the final plans in, but we're finishing the
SP.
drafting when they addressed
SP.
letter.
Oh, because you have my agenda, so I don't know what number we're on.
It's SP 2224.
We've met the problem
No,
that's
he
made.
said we just did 2224.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is, no, that's right.
I handed you 2224 and you handed it back.
You gave me the letter.
Blah.
The plans were Benos Devore.
I have
Which
plans.
we've looked at
These
already.
are 2226.
Now, here, okay, this is, all right, this is, I got the architectural for 2-4, I think.
Yeah.
I got the review and the architecturals for 2224.
I have 2224's plans.
I have, oh, you know why? Because when Line submitted plans, they submitted them for this application twice. I remember you saying that.
I probably
I
pulled,
remember telling you that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
Okay.
I don't have an actual set of Benos Devora here.
Kimberly
Of,
has a
Satmar.
correct set here,
Okay.
I think.
we brought
Two-story
sets.
synagogue.
Guys, we brought sets also. We have 2 more sets, whatever we need, it's okay.
You just need, Satmar. Yeah, James Street.
That would have been rough going on vacation with
Put it
them.
on eBay. I was gonna-
Although people couldn't get hold of it.
Right next to Tom Brady's jersey, I put on eBay, we're selling both together.
Wise of Now they'll buy the shirt.
Take care, Ray.
You follow the news on that? Craziness.
Somebody's dull.
Somebody took his jersey.
Wasn't a Falcons fan, can guarantee that much,
You feel bad.
unless they want to burn it.
They should, you know what, they should let OJ out of jail to go over and get the jersey back.
Help him out with that.
There you go.
That community service.
Yeah.
All right. SP 2224 Congregation Satmar. Okay. Let me take a look at the letter. No bulk variances have been requested, obviously check on that.
You guys are putting in variances for the front sign, which we removed. And updated plans, which we have done in the office, we've already removed that signs that we're not
Okay.
asking for variance.
Okay, good. All right, you're going to have to get buffer relief with regard to 18905B. It looks like, just looking at the plan, I would assume it would be definitely the easterly property line. Excuse me.
What?
Isn't N in parentheses all over these plans?
Who?
Who?
There's an
I
N
hope he changed that.
in parentheses.
We took this out.
Yeah, he's changed that.
We've,
And vinyl
That's,
fence.
that was his designation for new, and E is existing.
we've updated that, so.
We've changed that.
We've
all.
changed it all. Our plans are actually in all.
I couldn't figure it out when I first looked at them either.
We've updated the plans in our office, so we're ready.
I've never seen
addressing
it.
you.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
I was
You've got
racking my
ends and
brains,
E's.
what
Okay.
is
Ends and
this?
I
E's.
see what you're talking about. So you
We
have,
never,
Must have worked for an architect or something.
Tracy was doing this. It's all updated, it's
It's
all
all
cleaned out, it's
changed,
all
yeah.
changed.
all right,
it's all right.
Doesn't show that anymore.
all right, that.
And we
that's
have
fine.
final grading and drainage done as well on this.
All right, so we're gonna get revised plans
Yes.
that address most of our comments. And you've already met with
We
DPW.
emailed to them, they emailed you back an approval.
Okay,
You have it in your
so
records.
be ready to address the perimeter buffer. It looks like you're proposing a vinyl fence along the buffer?
Mhm.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Anything in our letter that you can agree to?
Rich? Oh,
Okay.
we're good.
All right, it sounds like we're okay with March.
Okay.
February 23?
Plans February 23, public hearing 3/21.
February 23 will be.
Cool, thank you.
When you resubmit to us, give us a response letter and tell us that you have the DPW. Okay, cool.
Notice?
Just have to
Notice,
do the
Eli
last check on the
Schwab.
drawing.
Election.
You just have to do the last check on the drawing.
So they just sent me updated architecturals today, which actually
Okay.
don't change the building at all. They just change the interior dimensions, so they
Okay.
reduce the base measure size.
Okay.
I brought them here, but we'll include them in updated plans in order to remove a variance.
Okay.
If you need it, I have it, but.
Let me take a look at this, hold on a second.
And this also was addressed, this was done for county, James's County, that we already spoke to the county on this.
Okay.
They gave us the right of way, the half widths.
Okay.
And you see it's all in there, the transition, the tapering, everything's done to meet the county, what they need, so.
Somebody, it's like Mr. Magno or someone got a hold of this, the sheets are out of order.
That's how they were submitted. I
Fine,
don't
ma'am.
even touch
Oh,
them.
okay.
We have,
Back in the day, we called that a drafting.
I could have.
It's harder now
We
with
could have
pen.
made copies for someone and only made certain
vote?
sheets.
No biggie.
No,
All
see,
right,
so Kimberly's out of order too, okay.
all right, so this is, okay, grading drainage. On just sheet 4, this is the concept. You've got parking and access in the front, the building in the back. And DPW is picking up trash, is that the deal?
yeah, we have to send it.
That's right, so you're going to have to get that from them. Okay, we have our interpretation, variance for rear yard, variance for side yard, variance for aggregate and building, is that correct?
I believe it's put this up there.
Okay, and
I
also
have-
perimeter buffer relief?
Variance requires star.
Why do you have side yard?
8 foot, whereas 10 is required.
Oh, for that bump out, you're correct, yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's the updated architectural. We have that, we have
That's got-
rear yard, what else do we have?
needs to be starred.
Combined side and building coverage.
Both sides not applicable.
Well, it is, both sides would be,
Used to be
it's
25
automatically,
feet.
yeah? Building coverage, we're showing a 29.68, but we'll recalculate with the new architectural.
25% is max permitted.
Yeah, this is R12.
Even for schools?
Yeah, they only
That's
changed
well-
it for the houses when they bumped them all up
Correct,
5%.
correct, okay.
All right, and then you have to address the perimeter buffer issue with the board as well.
Okay.
So that's it. We also estimate that you require all-street parking relief.
Yes, we're going to, we'll update that with the new architecturals.
Okay, and you'll make your case to the board, obviously. And then design waivers are required for street trees as well as shade tree and utility easement along James Street.
We'll add that in.
Okay, okay.
We may have, yeah, we may have to have the way, well, we'll see if we can get something in the parking. We can see if we can get a shade tree or two in.
Now, I'm looking at our calculations. What you're telling us is that this is not major development, Glenn?
So actually, Rich, we're going to Rich's, we did this calculation, and, yeah, that was the,
Quarter acre, total area?
yeah,
All right, so it's a quarter acre total area, is that
Yeah,
the
so
size
you-
of the lot?
So you can't
Well, it doesn't
possibly
meet the
get
impervious cover, you don't meet the total disturbance.
Right.
Right.
Okay. All right, so your impervious coverage, I'm looking at a building of 3,722 square feet. What's my parking, like 5,000? I'm
Yeah,
just, okay.
approximately.
All right, so your impervious is under 10,000 square feet, or close to.
Right.
All right, so technically, it's okay, so technically, it's not major development. I think we recommend in our letter, you don't need to do the 50, 75, 80% decreases, but show us you're not exacerbating runoff for the 210-100.
okay. All right, no problem.
And then size that accordingly. You don't have to file a maintenance manual because it's not 7:8, but you should probably have one for the end user as to that they can maintain this, the system.
Still trying to file those maintenance manuals. County won't take, you can't, you go to clerk's office. I had a deed I'm trying to file, quick story, for 6 months, a shared driveway for the DOT, and the county just wouldn't take it for a million different reasons. They're just very difficult.
I thought that you could just file anything, and they would just like
Clerk's
stamp
office,
and
you
file.
wish. I had to go last one, I was on a paramedic truck last Wednesday. When I went in uniform, they took in the file and stamped it. 'Cause I was like, pending call, they're like, okay, you're good. I was like, thank God, I just got this filed. You can't, there's no classification.
What's interesting
Right.
is
in the
if
thing for maintenance manuals.
the stormwater program as a whole, I have done planning all over the state back when this thing began. And depending upon what county you're in, depending upon what part of the state, you got some parts of the state, like Cape May County, they actually have a space in there that says, the planning board didn't get back to you in 60 days, therefore it's approved. And that's what happened, they just didn't care. I mean, they actually put that in the permit in your
Wow.
report. They approved it, they didn't approve it, you got nothing. For some of the southern counties. And you have other counties, I have places up north where you'd think it was a nuclear plant, the way that they treat it. It's just crazy. All right, anything in the technical report that you guys can't hit?
Now, we'll update this, February 23rd?
Yes, please.
There's one more, right? The last one was a minor.
Well, the last one was just verbal.
Yeah, Burger. I brought it if you want, but I don't know if we need it. Burger we should try sticking in. Last one, Burger,
It's an amended one,
that was
right?
amended, that was, came on the correspondence, and that was your recommendation saying, since we are asking for an additional
Oh,
variance,
right,
that was one of
right,
the wrong, that
right.
they skipped the ordinance, wasn't done right?
This is the notice to board, I'm sorry.
So that one, the question is, we can stick that on earlier, because that was just, it was, we already did all the testimony, it was just an amended, and they just want to officially have it as amended.
Right.
That was one, Terry, that the zoning didn't get updated properly, so we just asked Claire,
All right,
we haven't
so-
changed plans, we're not changing any
So
plans.
this is really testimony with the board.
That's it. Question is what date, I'm not updating any plans, we've already updated.
No, I think this is.
And we're actually almost done compliance as well, so we're 3 steps ahead of.
All right, yeah, I'm comfortable with this at Poly for purposes of the hearing.
Question is when you can have us on at a time that we can get heard.
There are variances, so you have to notice, right? I mean, we could put you on the 21st, it's just the 21st is slammed, so we've got that, the shopping village on Cedar Bridge.
Yeah, that's gonna be,
We're
that could
working-
take the night by itself.
There's a lot
What
of
if-
mediation going on, there's a lot of mediation going on half my day, so It may
I-
not be as bad as, it'll still be some, okay. Should we put it on then, or should we not bother for that? What do you
We
think?
could do March 7th, but March 7th may also have things from the 21st that carry as well, so who knows?
I feel bad because he keeps on bugging me to try getting his architecturals on. You can't know until he gets that. Let's
mean,
put
we
it on
could
the
try-
21st. Let's put it on the 21st. It gets carried, it gets carried.
Sure.
As long as you're okay with it.
2/21, yeah.
It gets carried. You don't need anything from me, maybe you'll.
I'm gonna need additional sets, I'll let you know
So that's gonna be
how.
6 sets.
Yeah, 6 sets and email copy as well.
That's okay.
That's the new way we're doing it, you're giving me 6 papers. I'm trying to get that into the checklist, but in the meantime, I'm asking for it before public hearing, because otherwise I have to scan them all in and email them to Klein anyway, you know? So if
Oh.
you send me a PDF copy, it just saves me from having to do them all.
For public or tech?
Public.
Public, so I'd only want to give those public ones until we get the updates.
Yeah.
But since you give me plans that we're revising 3 times anyway.
Right, no sense in me scanning them for the plan review meeting and then having to scan them again for public hearing, which is why I'm only asking them for
Well,
public
if we
hearing.
don't do it, just let us know, we'll gladly, just until we get used to it.
Okay. Great.
Good?
Awesome.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Next meeting is gonna take just as long.
Sarah's gonna be disappointed we weren't here
One
longer.
can
She
only
likes the
hope.
quiet in the office.
Were you short a plan? Was it Shackmore or
Yeah.
something
Oh,
like
did I
that?
keep it?
No,
Satmar?
we have extra with
No, I'm gonna
us.
need a new one, we
The
update it
Shackmore?
anyway.
Oh, okay.
Satmar. I'm gonna keep it for now just so I have it in the file, if that's okay.
I'll get
Under
you
the
a
new
new one.
rules and
Oh,
regulations,
no,
we're
you
doing this
didn't
for the
give me
zoning
one.
board also?
Can I
You need
have
one?
one? Yes.
According to the zoning board
There's,
members, yes.
East Kennedy,
I
block
have yet to discuss
104.02.
that with the attorney or anybody else.
Thank you.
I was told informally last night as I was venting, that they assured me that they were going to the TRC. So, we'll know when we know.
Super.
All good.
Super.
TRC for the zoning board, interesting.
Another day.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I have a couple of questions now.
Okay.
The questions are better sitting down. But Ally, I just want you to know, before you promise everyone that
See you guys
tonight is
later.
gonna go very,
Take
very
care,
fast. There's that item number 1 about the county line thingy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that ain't gonna go fast.
I don't
'cause,
know anything about it, so.
There are flyers all over town that everyone should come out and talk about it.
So
So-
come out regarding what, is this the rehab?
Yeah, the redevelopment.
It's not redevelopment, it's rehabilitation.
I
There is a
know, but-
huge difference.
It is a huge difference, but one blogger wrote, remember when they told us Cedar Bridge would be redeveloped, and now look where that's going.
Okay, but that's rehabilitation, they sound the same, they're
But-
completely different.
Some-
This is
some-
not
Someone
redevelopment.
wrote that it's gonna be like 13 office buildings.
It's rehabilitation. You know what rehabilitation is? Rehabilitation is you
Cleaning up.
repair something. Yeah, it's not redevelopment. This is a very
Is it
different
knocking down
process.
buildings and building new ones?
Typically, that's redevelopment. I mean, look, it's a public process, people can come out. What is being proposed tonight, as I understand it, I'm not a part of it. Rehabilitation is dramatically different than redevelopment.
But let's say-
Redevelopment is you have a non-functional site, you want to turn into something else. Rehabilitation is you want to upgrade an existing facility.
So let's say not tonight,
Terry,
but
I'm
let's
not
say,
gonna sit here and continue to be recorded for no
Yeah,
reason, so
we
I'm
can,
gonna head back to my
I'm gonna be
office.
down engineering if you wanna
Yeah,
talk
okay.
some more. And we're not a part of this presentation, it's gonna be the manager and I believe another professional,
Township attorney,
township attorney.
Harold Henson.
Okay, but yeah, there is a substantial difference between redevelopment and rehabilitation.
Thank you. Kimberly, thank you for coming.
Yeah, no problem. John will be here tonight.
Huh?
John will be here tonight.
Okay, great, thanks.
See you later.